You think you can hide from me?
Please, I beg you.
Stop! I'll show you!
Please!
My people, draw your seats closer. Come near the fire. Because what I am about to tell you is not just a story, it is a warning dressed as entertainment. You have heard elders say, not every smiling house is a happy one. Today, you will understand why. This happened in Igbodo Valley, a quiet farming settlement where secrets traveled faster than harmattan wind. In that land, if you asked people to mention a woman blessed by the gods, one name would always rise like smoke. Zeluwa. Oh, Zeluwa. Skin smooth like fresh shea butter. Eyes calm, always lowered. A smile so gentle it could soften even a stubborn child. But what truly made women swallow dry saliva when her name was mentioned was not her beauty. It was her husband. Tall, broad-shouldered, well-spoken, respected. In public, Danjuma was a dream wrapped in human skin. At the market, he held Zeluwa's hand like glass. He bought her imported wrappers, gold bangles, and perfumes that made heads turn. He would laugh loudly and say, "This woman is my crown. Without her, I am nothing." Women would sigh. Men would nod in approval. Some wives would hiss under their breath, "Godwin. See luck." Some women marry gold. But my people, if only walls could talk. The moment the wooden gate of their compound closed, bam, the crown cracked. The man who called her queen became a storm. If the bath water was too warm, slap. If the soup lacked salt, kick. If she looked at him too long, insult. "You useless orphan," he would growl, eyes burning. "I picked you from nothing. Without me, you are dust." And Zeluwa would kneel. Always kneel. Because Zeluwa had no father. No mother. No brothers to threaten revenge. When Danjuma first came into her life, he gave her kindness she had never tasted. She mistook control for love. She believed pain was the price of being chosen. So she endured. She hid bruises with powder. She hid fear with smiles. She praised him loudly so the world would never suspect the monster inside her home. But while Zeluwa was surviving quietly, another woman was watching carefully. Her name was Maradi. Oh, Maradi was not just ambitious. She was strategic. She didn't want a man. She wanted a position. She studied Zeluwa like a textbook. She learned Danjuma's movements. The narrow bush path he used every morning. The exact time he passed the old Iroko tree. One day, Maradi suddenly became a firewood collector. Imagine. A woman dressed in waist beads, soft anklets singing with every step, bending to pick sticks she didn't need. When Danjuma appeared, she didn't greet normally. She screamed, "Oh! Something has pierced my foot." She leaned back. Lifted her leg. Allowed fate to breathe. Danjuma rushed forward, chest puffed. "A man like me cannot watch beauty suffer," he said. He touched her foot. Maradi's fingers brushed his arm, accidentally. From that day, the seed was planted. Palm wine visits followed. Honey-sweetened drinks. Praise poured into his ears like oil. A powerful man like you deserves peace. A lion should not be married to fear. A king needs fire in his home. And while his ego grew, Zeluwa shrank. One afternoon, Zeluwa went behind the mango trees to gather fallen fruit. Her ribs still hurt from the night before. Then she heard laughter. Soft. Female. Intimate. She froze. Maradi's voice floated through the leaves. "Your wife looks at you like you beat her any moment," she said. "A king deserves a lioness, not a shaking chicken." Danjuma laughed. That laugh. The one that used to announce pain. "She is a burden," he replied. "I only married her so people would praise me for saving an orphan." Zeluwa did not cry. She touched the bruise on her arm. And something inside her died. Then something else was born. A calm. A clarity. She whispered to herself. So this is my exit. From that moment, Zeluwa did not see Maradi as an enemy. She saw her as a replacement sacrifice. Zeluwa became unbearable at home. Food burned. Water spilled. Mistakes multiplied. But when Danjuma raised his hand, she screamed. Loud. Neighbors began to pick. His rage had no audience, so it swallowed itself. Yet in public, Zeluwa became the perfect wife. She dressed beautifully, hung on his arm, praised him endlessly. Oh, my husband is the kindest man in Igbodo Valley. She buried him alive under a reputation he could no longer maintain. Then she approached Maradi gently, like a sister. At the stream, she sighed. My husband is too powerful for me, she said softly. I am weak. I cannot match his fire. Maradi listened, smiled, believed, and swallowed the bait whole. The final night came quietly. Smoke filled the kitchen. Danjuma returned drunk and angry. Pack your things, he roared. You are a curse. Zeluwa begged, kneeled, cried. He felt like a god. He threw her out. At the gate, Maradi waited, dressed like victory. Zeluwa leaned close and whispered. You wanted him. You wanted the house. Take everything. Don't say I didn't give you a gift. She walked away. She never looked back. Somewhere else. 2 hours later, Maradi learned the truth. The slap came. The belt followed. The door locked. She had not won a husband. She had inherited a monster. Far away. In the city, Zeluwa sat by a window. No shouting. No fear. Just silence. For the first time in her life. She was free. In Igbodo Valley, night does not fall suddenly. It creeps. By the time darkness wrapped itself around Chief Danjuma Kolu's compound, the house already smelled of new power and old anger. Maradi sat on the carved wooden chair in the inner room, the same chair Zeluwa never dared to touch. Her legs were stretched forward, anklets shining, wrapper sparkling like she had conquered a kingdom. She smiled to herself. So this is how queens sit, she murmured. Danjuma was pouring palm wine into a cup when she spoke again, louder now, testing her authority. This place is dusty, Maradi said casually. Call someone to bring water. My feet are tired. The room froze. Even the lamp flame shook. Slowly. Very slowly. Danjuma turned. The smile he used in the market did not just fade. It shattered. His eyes darkened, the same way they used to before Zeluwa's screams filled the compound. What did you say? He asked quietly. Maradi laughed nervously. I said I'm tired. Isn't that how a man treats his woman? The slap landed before the sentence finished. It sounded like thunder hitting mud. Maradi flew off the chair, beads scattering across the floor like broken dreams. She gasped, stunned, her ears ringing. Before she could even cry out, the belt was already loose in Danjuma's hands. You think you replaced her, he snarled. You think you came here to rule? He kicked her. Once. Twice. Zeluwa's ghost watched from the walls. She was silent, he continued, pacing like a wounded animal. You are noise. And I hate noise. Maradi scrambled toward the door. Locked. She ran to the back. Bolted. Panic finally entered her bones. She screamed. No one came. Because in that compound, screams were normal. Days passed. And something strange began to happen in Igbodo Valley. The compound that used to echo with praise now echoed with cries. Women at the stream started whispering. Have you noticed Maradi no longer comes out? I heard shouting last night. They say the chief is disciplining her. Some laughed. Some shook their heads. But deep down, something felt wrong. Meanwhile, Danjuma's pride began to rot. The meals Maradi cooked were never good enough. Her laughter irritated him. Her presence reminded him that the obedient shadow he once controlled had escaped. And worst of all, people began asking questions. Where is Zeluwa? Why did such a good woman leave? A man whose wife runs away. Is he truly blessed? The same reputation Zeluwa used to protect him was now choking him. One night, cold on the cold floor, Maradi finally understood. She had not stolen a husband. She had inherited a prison. Her body ached. Her pride bled. Her dreams mocked her. She remembered Zeluwa's whisper at the gate. You have it all now. That was when fear turned into regret. But regret is useless when the door is locked from the outside. Zeluwa's new life begins. Far away, in the city of Obins, morning light touched Zeluwa's face gently, no shouting, no fear. She worked in a small fabric shop owned by an elderly woman who asked no questions. For the first time, someone called her by her name without ownership. She learned to breathe again. To laugh softly. To sleep deeply. Sometimes she woke up shaking. But she was healing. One evening, she stood before a mirror. No bruises. No fear. She whispered. I survived. Back in Igbodo Valley, Danjuma's world began collapsing. A community meeting was called. Elders spoke carefully. A man's house is his mirror, one elder said. When too many cracks appear, something inside is broken. Danjuma felt eyes on him. Judgment. The lion was becoming a suspect. And at home, Maradi finally gathered courage. The same courage Zeluwa once prayed for. She waited. For the right moment. In Chief Danjuma Kolu's compound, silence had become more dangerous than noise. Maradi learned this the hard way. At first, she screamed. She begged. She tried to explain. But screaming only fed him. So one night, after another beating that left her ribs burning and her spirit shaking, Maradi stopped crying. She lay still on the floor. Too still. Danjuma paused mid-rant. He hated that. Get up, he snapped. She didn't move. Fear touched him for the first time, not fear of her, but fear of losing control. Don't try rubbish, he warned, kicking her lightly with his foot. Still nothing. Only then did Maradi cough weakly. That night, something shifted. Not mercy, never mercy. But attention. From that moment, Maradi understood the rules of the demon's house. Crying invites pain. Silence creates confusion. Observation creates opportunity. And Maradi began to observe. She noticed the hours Danjuma drank himself numb. She learned the nights he slept deeply. She watched how he locked the doors, and which lock jammed slightly if forced slowly. She counted his steps. She memorized his moods. She stopped provoking him. Instead, she became small. Too small. And that made him careless. One early morning, while Danjuma was away attending a land dispute in the next village, Maradi crawled to the back fence. Her body screamed in protest. But fear pushed her forward. She dug with her bare hands, slowly, quietly, until she reached the loose space Zeluwa once hid her bruised wrappers. That was when Maradi found it. A small cloth bundle. Inside were gold coins. Hidden. Saved. Tears filled her eyes. Not joy, but realization. Zeluwa had planned survival long before escape. She was never weak, Maradi whispered. For the first time, admiration replaced jealousy. In Igbodo Valley, rumors thickened like overripe soup. The chief's compound had changed. No laughter. No visits. No market strolls. Women noticed bruises on Maradi when she occasionally appeared to fetch water, bruises she failed to hide properly. An old woman at the stream finally spoke. "This is not normal." Others nodded. But fear kept mouths shut. Until the night scream stopped. That night, people woke up to silence. And silence made them uneasy. That same night, Danjuma drank heavily. Palm wine spilled down his beard. His voice led with arrogance. "You women are the same," he muttered. "Property." Maradi waited. She waited until his breathing deepened. Until the house sank into drunken sleep. Then she moved. Slow. Careful. She reached the faulty boat. Pushed. It resisted. She breathed. Pushed again. The boat slid. Her heart pounded louder than drums. She stepped outside barefoot, pain screaming through her body, fear pushing her forward. At the fence, she hesitated. The village lay quiet. Then, a shout behind her. "Maradi!" She froze. Danjuma stood at the doorway, eyes wild. "You think you can run?" He charged. She climbed. The fence tore her wrapper. She fell. Rolled. Stood. And ran. She didn't scream. She ran like death chased her. Because it was. By morning, the village was awake. Maradi had collapsed at the shrine entrance. Bleeding. Shaking. Alive. The elders gathered. Women cried. Men whispered. Danjuma arrived furious, then confused. Because for the first time, the audience was present. Maradi lifted her head. Pointed. "He beats me," she said hoarsely. "He locks me in. He nearly killed me." Gasps. Eyes turned. The mask cracked. Danjuma roared. "She is mad. But madness does not bleed like that." The elder spoke. The compound was sealed. Danjuma was ordered away pending judgment. The lion had been caged. In Obin's city, Zeluwa woke suddenly that morning. Her chest felt light. She didn't know why. But something had shifted. She stepped outside, sunlight touching her face gently. For the first time, she smiled without fear. Back in Igbodo Valley, the elders sat in silence. One question remained unspoken. If two women suffered, how many suffered before them? And how many were still silent? Also, tell us what you have learned, and so before you point at another woman's husband and shout, "God won," before you spray yourself perfume and start chasing what looks like soft life, remember Ezra. She didn't lose a husband. She escaped a coffin with windows. Maradi, she didn't win a man, she won the full package. Anger, violence, and a lifetime subscription to regret. My people, learn this and learn it well. Not everything you fight to collect is a prize. Comment where you're watching from in the comment section. Your voice matters to us here. Stay and enjoy another stories on this channel. We remain the #1 African folktales.